very exciting to be here because I'm going to tell you all to delete your state management libraries. Thank you for coming to my first conference talk, or first talk of this conference. If you saw my name on the schedule twice, that is not a bug. I did happen to scam Infinite Red folks into giving me 2 speaking slots so I can spread the word, spread the message of the Lord, I guess. But before that, hi, I'm Dev, and I'm a dev. I've been building full-stack apps for about 9 years, mostly using JavaScript, some other languages here and there as well. I'm going to work with Codemod as a software engineer. I'm currently building a framework called Spectre, which it makes your AI agents more reliable at building applications. So if you like using coding agents and want better outputs, more deterministic outputs out of them, stop me after this talk or just check out Spectre. I'm a core team member of Solid.js. I sometimes contribute to TimeStack ecosystem as well. And if you like my talk today, you're probably going to like some of my content on YouTube and X as well. So let's get to the message of the Lord, SQLite. How many of you know what SQLite is? That is almost everyone. That's great. How many of you use SQLite in your applications? That's also a very good number. That's great. How many of you use SQLite as the primary data persistence and state persistence layer in your apps? That's a much smaller number. OK, kind of as well. Final question. How many of you use sync engines? That's awesome. That's a pretty good number, honestly. OK, so people are familiar with SQLite. That's great. But not everyone uses it for kind of like all the state management, which is fair. Let's talk about state itself. What is state management? Well, when our users interact with our application, our apps need a way to remember what interactions have happened over time and to keep them displayed on the user's screen or the UI. State is simply a way for us to keep track of some data over the lifetime of applications. And state management is writing the logic of how exactly state changes and mutates over time in response to user interaction, and how state is displayed in the UI. So how does state management even work? How do we do state management? Well, our framework provides us with a very handy mechanism called useState that we can use. It's pretty simple. It's an extremely flexible and powerful primitive that we all have access to as application developers. But there are some problems when we use this directly for our application state. What exactly do we store inside a useState? It's a single value. And every time we update, every time we call that this set value, we have to give it a new value. Otherwise, React doesn't understand this as like a different piece of state. And every time component re-renders, we have to pick some fields. If it's a number, we just show the number. But if it's an array, if it's an object, we have to pick which fields show up in the UI at any point in time. So we have to give it some structure. A single value by itself is not always enough. We have to decide how do we structure the data that lives inside this useState. And what happens to the state in here if we navigate to a different part of the application, or if we happen to close the application? Well, it's lost. The whole point of the state is that we need to remember something that happens, but useState simply loses all the state as soon as you navigate away, as soon as it's not in the view anymore. So now we have to also decide how do we persist this data into some sort of a disk, somewhere where we can easily retrieve it if the application opens up again, if you can go back to the screen, and you have to see what the data was the last time. So none of that is like super scary. We as application developers have been writing this sort of logic forever. But the problem is when the app gets complicated, all of this kind of gets tangled together. Our business application logic, that's actually the thing that we care about, that our users care about, gets kind of mixed up with logic that gives our state some structure, and some logic that persists and retrieves it from some sort of a disk. SQLite is a small database that most of you are familiar with. that basically gives us a bunch of different ways of doing this structure and persistent logic out of the box. So all the complicated logic that we might build around our state kind of just evaporate away when we start using databases like SQLite for what they're really good at. So as an example, here I have like a simple task tracking app that I've been using for myself. This is actually a much smaller version of the app that I actually use every day. But you can see that pretty much all of my state here, this lives in local SQLite database that I can simply query inside my React component. So I have my tasks, I have some journal entries, and they all, both of them live in different tables. So instead of a state for that's a giant array or a giant object with all this data, it simply lives in SQLite where I can query it however I want, wherever I want in different ways. I still have a little bit of state here for ephemeral UI state that doesn't actually need to persist for long. And then down here, I have simple insert statements for when there's actual user interaction. So when I go into the when I go into the input box, I type something and I press enter, it simply inserts into my SQLite database, and it doesn't really have to do anything else. When I toggle something, I just update certain fields inside my database. And the reason that this works is because all the state, it kind of works like uState, where as soon as you make some changes, these queries are automatically going to rerun. This is not something SQLite can do out of the box on its own, so we do need to give it some help. So in this case, I'm using something called PowerSync, which I'm going to talk more about tomorrow. But this basically gives our SQLite queries, it makes them reactive. So if any of the data in here changes, the query is going to rerun, and our component is going to receive up-to-date data, just like how it would when you use a regular state management library or the uState hook. On top of that, we're all probably using AI agents to help us build apps. How many of you are not using AI to help you write code? Fantastic. So then you would probably know that AI is really, really good at writing SQL. It has been trained on decades of SQL for all sorts of data manipulation and analysis. So it's going to be naturally really good at helping you write this logic. Now, there's a lot that I didn't cover in this talk, especially how you might handle taking all of this data in your local SQLite database in these applications and synchronizing it with a server, because we have data on the server side as well. And most of the work that we do as application developers is write logic that keeps the client and server in sync and handle all the complexities of asynchronous operations. So my talk tomorrow will go over those in more detail. Today, I just wanted to tell you all how SQLite is something that you can easily use as your regular state management within your applications and not have your persistence and structuring logic be entangled with the rest of your application. SQL is really powerful. We should all be using a lot more in our applications. And that's the end of my talk today. Thank you very much.